here with the one, the only, the man, the myth, the legend, Chip Z'Nuff. Chip has been the bass player, singer, and keeper of the flame for Enuff Z'Nuff for almost 40 years now. Chip is touring constantly while hosting his own radio show, The Monsters of Rock, which reaches over 800,000 people on the Dash Radio Network. He is about to release a new solo record called Perfectly Imperfect on March 18th on the Frontiers label. And Chip, it is an honor, my friend.
I'm holding an ace and I'm living in cyberspace on my microphone mobile on my English reel-to-reel. Of course, it's good to be here, buddy. Good to see your face.
It's great to see you, man. A solo record again, man. This is great. This is great. You know, and I always think about, you know, you got so much going on. You're doing the Enuff Z'Nuff thing. You're producing people. You're doing sessions for people. Why do a solo record at this point? Were they burning a hole in the studio there? These songs?
No, that was the label insisted upon that. We've given Frontiers a bunch of records in the last few years.
Yeah.
Most notably, Clown's Lounge. Of course, we gave them right after that. We followed that in the heels with the great Diamond Boy record, which is the first record that's charted for us on Billboard Top 200 in 25 years. And we had a little bit of momentum. We went and did, back in the studio, did Brainwash Generation.
Yep. Then
in November, we put out Hard Rock Night, which is an interpretation of all the Beatle classics from 1967 to 70. And then now the label says we want a solo record. So I went out. I grabbed Joel Holkstra from Whitesnake, grabbed Dax Nielsen from Cheap Trick, got a song on the record with Steven Adler from Guns N' Roses, got my drummer Daniel Benjamin Hill doing some orchestration, some beautiful arrangement and drumming on the record as well. And I surrounded myself with great musicians and good friends, and here I am with another solo record, my second solo record. Awesome. In my illustrious 40-year run through the music business. It's a miracle.
It is illustrious, man. It is it's great. I've been there for a very long period of that time, and I tell you, it's great. Always great to see you. Always great to see you guys playing. It's always a fun show. It's always tight. It's incredible what you do with this band. It's really great.
Yeah, I got a strong band. Tony Fennell, the ex-singer from Ultravox, playing guitar with me and singing, along with Tori Stoffregan from Black Mollies and New Black Seven, and Daniel Benjamin Hill. Yeah, it's a formidable team. They show up every night. We never mail it in.
Nope.
You know, the last 3 tours we've done with Ace Frehley and with Jack Russell's Great White and Faster Pussycat, they're really tighten the screws on this group.
Yeah.
Where it's a fine, well-tuned, oiled machine right now, I'd like to believe.
Oh,
and now with the advent of people filming all the shows and stuff, it sounds much better than it did before. That's for sure. And the fans have spoken. They keep going out and getting the records, and I'm grateful I get a chance to write songs and make music and go out and play it every single day.
It's great, man. It's always it's great to have you still here for sure. When you first considered the solo record and they asked you to do that, did you have any goals in mind? Did you want it to sound a certain way, or do it a little bit differently than the Enuff Z'Nuff records, or anything you had in mind for this one?
Well, I certainly didn't want to confuse motion with progress and just put a record out for the sake of it. I want to make sure there are strong songs, and I looked at the world that we are living in right now through my rose-colored glasses, and I see that there's quite a bit of fodder out there to talk about. So I tried to put music to tape and my interpretation in the world right now. And it's basically this record, the solo record, is my love letter to the new generation. And it's I think it's a rock solid album. I record these songs late at night. I'd be in the studio till 2, 3 o'clock in the morning here in Blue Island, Illinois. Yep. Little place where Moses left his sandals. And no extracurricular activities, not like the old days of Royal Recorders over at A&M Studios in LA, or Music Grinder, or One-on-One, where we just never stop partying. Right now it's the task at hand is record and get great performances, and I'd like to believe we captured that in a bottle.
Yeah. Absolutely. It is heaven in a bottle, this record. And let's talk about that. The lead single, Heaven in a Bottle. Cool video just released. Really super cool video.
Thank you.
Co-written by Donnie.
Yep.
You have extra players here. You got, Joel Hoekstra, one of the greatest players in the world. He is on this record. Some guests. Did you ever think about having Donnie sing that one?
No, he already sang it on the demo when we first recorded it years ago.
Okay.
And that was the template. I listened to it and I said, I want to try to do that and maybe a little bit more. So I put a few little parts to it, rearranged a few things, and I think I captured what I was trying to look for, which is I wanted a little more punchier. I wanted to really focus on the story and the task of bringing that across to the fans. It's a good little rock pop song. It's elements of our influence that we carried in the past. Yep. Never recorded on any records. I was going through the library material I have here. I've saved everything. Yep. That was one, for some reason, that one slipped through the cracks for the longest time. But a lot of my friends always loved that track. Yeah. I think that we played it pretty aggressively in the studio, and that's me playing most of the guitars on that. I'm playing through an old Marshall that I had modded out through Eddie Van Halen's guy. And I used a little Dan Armstrong guitar. Yeah, those things are great, man. I love them. Yeah. Joe Perry from Aerosmith turned me onto it. Cool. And I just played all the stuff basically right in the studio. And I overdubbed the bass guitar, used my old 63 Precision bass. And Dax Nielsen came down, played drums on it. I think it's a solid little rock track. Totally. And it's a good representation of what the record's about. Yeah. And I think the label was really happy about that. And I went out and got a guy named Jaffe Films, they're called. And Bizzarro, wonderful guy, Dave Bizzarro. He came and he produced the track for us. And we drove around here in Blue Island, shot the video in a day. In my 1957 Porsche Speedster. That's pretty cool.
I was going to say, I'm thinking like late 60s, 57. That is.
Yeah, I got that as a birthday present from Steven Adler when I played with Adler's Appetite.
Man.
And so every time I get in, it reminds me of him. It was just a great little car. It's like a bathtub with four wheels. And just drove that around Blue Island, going to all the different shops, hanging out with the people.
And that beautiful young lady.
Yeah, Kate Catalina. Oh, she wears her boots well. She's very easy on the eyes. Great actress and a wonderful companion. That's a good little passenger to have with you. Trust me.
Yeah, that's super cool. Great video. Check it out. It's a whole lot of fun. Like the band, like Chip. Always a blast. You say the guitar, you played the guitar parts on these on this album. Of course, you don't play guitar in Enuff Z'Nuff. I do on the records. Okay. Now I was gonna say, was that different for you? Was it like a challenge for you to get in the groove of that guitar groove?
No, I feel pretty good when I'm in the studio, but I play in tons of sessions with cats where I play guitar, and all the Enuff Z'Nuff albums I play guitar in all the songs. Cool. So I've always felt comfortable with that. I have my own approach. I play with my fingers, sort of like a Jeff Beck, Mm-hmm. Maybe when I'm playing solos, it might be a little bit more challenging. The color parts and the Wes Montgomery stuff and the finger picking things, that's pretty simple for me. It's the solos that where you get the challenging parts because there's so many great players out there. But I play for the song. I'm not playing for myself. It's not look at me. Yeah. And I think that's what I did on this record here. I just play what I felt was comfortable. It felt right. And I want to make sure you can interpret the song even on acoustic guitar.
Yeah.
And then I go out and I find guys that'll come in there and embellish it in the best of their abilities. And I found some good guys on this record.
Yeah, like Joel Hoekstra. You can't go
wrong. I'm going to get Slash next.
I just saw him actually. He's an amazing player, of course. And Joel Hoekstra. You hang with an amazing crowd, my friend. These are the most talented people in the world, right there.
Yeah, it's nice to be surround yourself with good guys. Oh, by the way, Slash just played here in Chicago yesterday. He played at the Riviera Theater.
I was there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's just a fabulous guitarist, a wonderful guy. I love all those kids. Todd, wonderful bass player.
Yeah.
Just a formidable team. You can't say enough about Miles Kennedy's pipes. He's a guy can sing the alphabet.
It's unbelievable. It's
Yeah,
unbelievable. That guy.
beautiful tone. I remember a long time ago, Rick Krim over at MTV turned me on to Miles Kennedy. He said, "There's a new kid in the block. This guy's going places." And I heard his pipes. I thought, "That's fabulous, great range." And then,
Yep.
of course, he's an alter bridge too. So he's a six trick pony.
He is. He's just unbelievable. And he was great in Chicago. I went up to Milwaukee some, and they were great there. It's just what a band, and it was a pleasure to see him for sure.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I wanted to ask you, you're singing, of course, in Enuff Z'Nuff. You're singing on this record. Did you think about like doing a different singer to change the sound of the record so it wasn't too much Enuff Z'Nuff like? Was that ever
really, to be honest with you, I looked at my constituents, look at the guys in Journey or Stone Temple Pilots or Foreigner or Styx. They all moved on. They got, for one reason or another, they got new singers. Mm-hmm. And I thought to myself, who has ever done it where they've, it's the original guy in the band that was writing the songs as well. Who's ever taken that job over? And it was Phil Collins when Peter Gabriel left Genesis. That was the only band I could find that somebody else in the band took over that was already in the band. Yeah. I guess that was my template right there. And I remember when Donnie left in 2013 for the last time, and he says, I'm hanging it up. I'll just do solo stuff. But if you're going to carry on the name Enuff Z'Nuff and the legacy, you should sing the songs because you're the guy with me. And when you get up in the middle of the stage, people are going to know it's Enuff Z'Nuff just by your appearance. Yep. And I took that chance. True. Maybe he was trying to throw me under the bus. I don't know. I don't think so.
Know. It sounds pretty good.
I think he had confidence that I would be able to wear that dress. And the fans have spoken. Band sounds great.
Yep.
I'm happy to be there. It wasn't necessarily the gig that I wanted, but now that I have it, I'm just going to move forward and do the best I can to push the legacy of Enuff Z'Nuff in a great direction. And hopefully it'll help all the guys out there that have been with us previous, and they'll feel the success as well. And I want them to get the accolades just as much as I do. Believe me, that's important to me to keep that going. At the end of the day, that's very, very top priority for me is to make sure the legacy is intact and that we leave an indelible mark.
Yeah, and you do for sure. And you wear that dress well, my friend. It sounds great.
Thank you.
Yeah, totally. I just talked with Dale Bozzio too. The sweet Dale Bozzio.
Yes, love her.
She is something else. Love her to death. We were talking about you a little bit, your little stint with Missing Persons, and she mentioned that you were gonna go out with her and do something in the future.
Yeah, we talked about that. Be great. I share her new book's out right now.
Yeah,
I was in Missing Persons for about 6 years. I played in that band for a long time.
Yep.
And then she took a little break, and then she went back out again, and she hired Prescott Niles from the Knack to play bass with her.
Right.
But just recently, her management company called me, Howie Huberman, who used to manage Poison, and asked if I'd be interested in going on a tour again with Missing Persons. And I said, of course I would.
Yeah.
I love Dale. We've had wonderful times together. I love her stories with Frank Zappa and Prince.
It's a great book.
It's a great book, and she's a wonderful storyteller. And we've had great times on the road together. That 6-year run we had, played some big rooms, DTE Energy Center, the old Pine Knob.
Yes. Yeah.
Played Red Rocks with her.
Oh,
she gets good shows, and and the fans really love her. I remember us opening for Susie and the Banshees and Death Cab for Cutie and Billy Idol at a big festival, and it was in California, and there was probably 20, 30,000 people there, maybe more. And she doesn't like to go out and talk to the people very often, and I do. That's what I think this business is all about, is having transparency and going out and seeing the fans and thanking them for all their years of support. And I talked her into coming out of the tour bus eventually, and she went out to hang out with the fans, and she was out there for 4 hours signing autographs and taking pictures.
Awesome.
And she goes, Chip, thank you so much for turning me on. I would never have done that if you didn't talk me into it. I thought that was really nice of her.
Yeah.
she's a great friend of mine. She loves animals. So do I as well. And she's a real humanitarian. And
Yeah.
I'm happy that she's going to be out there touring again. And of course, I make myself available for that if Enuff Z'Nuff wasn't busy. Or maybe it'll be Enuff Z'Nuff and Missing Persons, like it was talked about, where they had a big an 80s revival with One in Rome, Bow Wow Wow, Missing Persons, Enuff Z'Nuff. That was talked about earlier in the year. I thought it was going to happen, but it looks like it's pushed back now. And I got tours happening coming up. I'm going out in June with Nashville Pussy. I mean, with Nashville Pussy. That's not until September. But I go out in June with Pretty Boy Floyd and Midnight Devils on a Glam Slam Metal Jam run.
Yep.
And that's going to be great. And that's going to be for at least a month. And then I'll come back and then we'll gear up for that next Peacemaker tour, which is, I think that perhaps it might be, I'm not positive, but I know it's Nashville Pussy and Wigwam, Enuff Z'Nuff, maybe another glam band on there. And somebody mentioned the other day that Hardcore Superstars could be on that one as well. That would be a fantastic run. I'm about consolidation. I want to see all the bands get together and play shows. That's what the fans want. You get a bang for your buck then.
Yeah. And it's it's an all day thing. And with rock and roll, it's I love that, man. That's great. Yeah. All my friends for sure. Hey Chip, I know you're running late and I want to try and get you back on schedule. I got one more question for you. If you could have coffee and a conversation with any living person, who would that be?
Oh, it's a good question. Coffee and conversation with any living person right now. There's so many of them out there that I admire beyond belief because I grew up with bands across the pond, the Black Sabbath and the Beatles and Queen and Led Zeppelin and Pink Floyd's. But I pick one guy out to sit down and have a nice conversation with. Yeah. Believe it or not, and I've already talked to him once. We met in Chicago in 2008 at the Soldier Field. But sitting down, having a conversation, having some coffee, I didn't do that, but a couple of words were exchanged, and he got me pretty good. I'd like to sit down with perhaps Keith Richards. That'd be nice for a good 10, 15-minute conversation.
Absolutely.
And ask him why he told me that. I mentioned to him that I'm in a band and we're like a cross between Cheap Trick and the Rolling Stones. And his answer to me was, "Don't blame me." So I don't know what he meant by that, but in any case, that would be it. I got to be honest with you. But there's a lot of cats out there that I love beyond belief. Maybe Brian May would be number 2 because I have Night at the Opera signed by the whole band, except for Brian May. And Brian told a friend of mine last year that, Chip, bring it out. I'll sign it for him. So that'd be nice to have a conversation with him too, because I've always been a huge Queen fan. I've really loved their strut. Yeah.
Oh, absolutely. Chip, I hope to see you at another show. Saw you at John Waite. We got a chance to talk a little bit. I see you all over. You're everywhere, and we love you for it, man. It's always great to see you. Always a fun chat. I appreciate you, my friend.
I appreciate you as well, my friend. On behalf of everybody listening and watching us, I wish everybody well. God bless you all and see you out on tour in 2022 and beyond.
Absolutely. God bless.
Cheers.
Take care.
All right, buddy.
Bye.